Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to get right into this. I want to say Snoop Dogg, congratulations. He has achieved a new milestone, and that milestone is being a conservative. He is now, guess what, in the conservative family because he now feels the backlash. He knows what it feels like to be a conservative now because all you have to do is say one small little thing against the LGBTQ people, alphabet people, and guess what? You're thrown out. You're discarded. All the good work you've done, all the great concert and philanthropy work, and all this stuff you've done, if you make one small little comment, which, by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about Snoop Dogg and his LGBTQ comments when he took his grandson to a movie. And what he said was innocent. He didn't call him any names. He didn't disrespect them. He just said, hey, I'm in a movie with my grandson. I'll play you this clip. I'm in a movie with my grandson. Why did this need to be seen? I got to answer these questions. I'm not ready for it. You know, and this is a problem that we see in this country. We have seen stuff like this pushed, this gay, trans, LGBTQ plus, whatever they are, narrative pushed on these kids. You know, to me, I feel like it's a parents' responsibility to teach, the kids about the birds and the bees and about the gays and all this other stuff. Not teachers, not other outside influencers, not Disney, and definitely not when you try to go see a movie with your young kid, because guess what? Kids are known for being curious. Kids are known for asking a million questions. How do you explain to your kid when you're not ready to explain to them, hey, two women having this is crazy. So let's just get into the Snoop Dogg controversy.
Let's see, what was the movie with Buzz Light?
Toy Story?
Not that one, but
the new Buzz, the Lightyear. I think it's called Lightyear.
Yeah, with Keke Palmer's in that movie.
Okay.
She plays like the daughter. So we watching it, and the lady, which is Keke's mama, they move on into the space years. They move down the line. They're like, and she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie, like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, I didn't come in for this. I just came to watch the damn movie. Hey, man, watch the movie. They just said she had a baby. They both women's. How did she have a baby?
And this is a very good point of when you're not prepared for this stuff. Why is this narrative being pushed on kids? And again, he didn't disrespect them. He didn't call them any names. He didn't call them, hey, you weird. He didn't say anything disrespectful. He just asked a simple question. I'm in the movie with my grandson watching this Disney movie, and yet this lesbian scene of kids having, these two women having a baby, the grandson's curious. How does this happen? How is this possible? Why is this narrative being pushed on kids so heavy? It's something that we have to find out, something we have to ask ourselves, because we finally understand why, in Florida and some of these other states have kicked out certain books out of schools, genderqueer and all these other things that should not be taught in schools, should never be taught in schools, should never be forced upon kids, period, in the education system. But for some reason in some of these liberal blue cities, it is. And I don't know why these teachers in some of these states feels that it's necessary to teach these kids about trans, LGBTQ. It doesn't make any sense to me. So of course, Snoop Dogg just watching a simple movie with his grandson, a little Toy Story movie, little Lightyear, and all of a sudden, this complex scene comes up that you now have to explain to this grandson that he's not ready for. Nor should that stuff be. And you hear all these people, criticize him now. Some of these people have come out against him and said, hey, you know what? Well, what about when two women are kissing? Well, hold on. He's not taking his grandson to see two adult women kissing. They can do whatever they want in their private lives. He's not taking his grandson to see this. He's taking his grandson to see a Disney movie, which what do you have that stuff for in the Disney movie, a Lightyear movie? And then the director said, "Oh, I'm proud to have this stuff created. It's my creativity and it's my artwork." And Snoop Dogg's a loser because he thinks like this is crazy from the director. And this is the problem that we have in this country. When you ask a simple question, I'm not ready for all this. My grandson is doing I'm not ready for all this, and yet you have all this backlash. Snoop Dogg is facing all this backlash. Even so, he's got an upcoming show in Australia with the AFL. And some critics are talking about dropping him. He didn't say anything wrong. He asked a simple question. I'm not ready to explain this. Why do I have to explain this to my grandson about this lesbian couple that it should never be seen? But you know what? We're going to see I'm going to show you these clips right now of some liberals being outraged and upset about Snoop Dogg's comments.
Let me tell you real quick, and I'm obviously going to paraphrase it. He was being interviewed, and he was complaining that he brought his grandkid to Lightyear, the movie Lightyear. It's a Pixar movie. I personally didn't see Lightyear, but I guess there's parents in the movie that are moms. So same-sex marriage. He's complaining that they're putting it everywhere, and like, now I'm going to have to explain things. And like, I'm not even going to get into that argument of it, because it's like, oh, okay.
See, this is the point of what I'm talking about here. It should be the parent. It's up to the parents. It's not up to the teachers. It's not up to Disney. It's not up to any outside influencers. It's up to the parents to talk to these kids about the birds and the bees and gays and trans and all this other stuff. Snoop didn't say anything wrong, but of course you see these liberals being so upset.
You don't want to have to explain things. There's really nothing to explain. It's just like, that kid has two moms. Like, there's no explanation needed. But aside from that, the first thing that comes to my mind is how I don't think that Snoop Dogg would have any problem whatsoever having a music video or watching a music video where two women are making out. All I'm saying.
And this is the point where she's missing. You're talking about two adult women making out, and he might not have a problem with that. He's not taking his grandson to see two adult women making out. You're talking about an adult man seeing lesbians making out. He's not taking his grandson to see that. He's taking his grandson to see a Disney movie. So why would you have a gay scene where you have to explain that to a kid who has no idea about what's going on? He's used to a man and a woman having a kid, but now he sees two women having a kid. And the grandson's like, wait, what's going on? Papa Snoop, what's going on? I don't know what this is. Can you explain? Now he has to have a conversation. He's not ready for that. Nobody wants to have a conversation like that when a kid's so young. And then this liberal, again, is being so disingenuous. Oh, you won't have a problem with two adult women making out. They're adult women. I'm not taking my grandson to see that. It's so disingenuous.
Thing is, if you have a problem with women being depicted in a relationship together and not a problem with women making out at parties, why? Complaining that he
again, women making out at parties has nothing to do with what Snoop said. He didn't say he has a problem with gays. He didn't say he has a problem with trans people. He said that when I'm taking my grandson to see a Disney movie, I'm not ready to have these weird conversations about how two women can have babies. And then yet you see these liberals talking about dropping him. He needs to be canceled for this. Snoop Dogg didn't call him any names. He wasn't disrespectful at all. He just said, I'm ready to have this conversation with my grandson. And yet all these liberals are talking about dropping him. All the good work that Snoop Dogg's done, all the philanthropy work, just discard that, throw it out the way. We don't care about that. What we care about is Snoop Dogg not saying anything about the LGBTQ plus alphabet people. How dare you say anything against them, Snoop Dogg, even though you're taking your grandson to see an innocent Disney movie and two women are having a baby that we now have to explain why. Don't ask any questions. We don't want you to question us and why we're trying to push this narrative on kids. We don't want you to ask any questions. And of course, when he makes a small little comment, the world's over for him. You know, he might get dropped for some shows. All this stuff he's talking about getting canceled for when he just asked a simple question. So again, Snoop Dogg, I want to welcome you to being a conservative now, because now you know what it feels like to be a conservative. Now you know exactly what it is to be a conservative, because if we say any small thing, if we say we don't like this, we're getting called racist. If we don't like that, it's homophobic. If we don't like this over here, it's transphobic. And now you just said you didn't want your grandson to see all this. You're not ready to see all that. It's just getting pushed everywhere. And guess what? Now they're canceling you. So all this stuff that you were fighting for when you were against Trump and you made all those comments against Trump and all this other stuff, and now you're starting to see, well, geez, they're pushing this stuff on kids. And guess what? It's only one party that wants, for some reason, for this stuff to get pushed on kids. I need to know from all the parents out there, why would you want schools to teach your kid about any of this stuff. That should be your responsibility to teach your kid about the birds and the bees and gays and all this other stuff if you want to. It should not be any grown adult or any Disney movie or any outside influence teaching your kids about this stuff. You are the parents. It is your responsibility. No one should take that right or responsibility away from you. And that's, again, Snoop Dogg's talking about the same thing. You're just trying to have an innocent movie with your grandson, and now you're in this uncomfortable position. And then even when he said, just watch the movie, and the little grandson's like, no, you got to explain this to me. I need to know why two women are having a baby. I never knew that could happen. So we need to figure out why it's being pushed on kids. And I want to know from the parents, you guys are great out there. You guys are great at teaching your kids. No one should take this responsibility or right away from you to tell your kids about all the birds and the bees and all this other stuff. And now I want everybody to see what happens. Once you start asking questions about the LGBTQ plus people, once you start making one little comment, they're going to turn on you. You're thrown out to the wind. You're canceled, all this other stuff. You can't do anything right. You have to watch what you say, when you say, how you say it. And Snoop Dogg is now the latest victim of cancel culture. Even though he didn't call him a name, even though he wasn't disrespectful, they didn't like what he said and how he said it, even though he's talking about his grandson, not, wanting to have a conversation with him. Now he knows what it's like to be a conservative. Welcome to the team, Snoop Dogg. All right, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out of here.